For centuries, the throne of Erendor had sat abandoned, a silent monolith of obsidian and dark crystal, perched in the ruins of the floating city of Kallara. Legends whispered that the throne was cursed, that anyone who dared claim it would be trapped forever. And yet, no one knew the truth behind its black allure. The woman chained to it had lived far longer than any mortal should. Queen Solara of Kallara, they called her in hushed tones among scholars, though few had seen her and fewer survived to tell the tale. She had been betrayed, bound by dark magic, and left to endure centuries in solitude. Her once gilded gown had faded into rags of shadow, her luminous hair now tinged with the silver of endless time, yet her eyes, fierce and violet, still burned with the fire of a living soul. No one dared enter the throne room. Its doors were reinforced with alien metals that had resisted time itself, and the air shimmered with energy that repelled life. The city below had crumbled long ago, drifting as fragments through the skies, yet the throne remained, impervious. That was until Kael Varin, a wandering treasure-seeker and rogue of the stars, arrived. His ship skimmed the floating ruins, sensors picking up the faintest residual energies of ancient magic. Kael was reckless, fearless, and impossibly curious, a combination that often got him killed, but sometimes led to the impossible. He stepped cautiously through the ruined spires, his boots clinking against the crystallized debris. His scanners hummed. "Energy readings off the charts," he muttered. "Someone or something is alive in there." The doors loomed ahead, massive and inscribed with alien runes that glowed faintly under his touch. He reached out instinctively, and the runes flared, projecting shimmering chains in the air. Kael stumbled back. Then he heard it, a soft, melodious voice that seemed to echo through centuries. "Who dares approach my prison?" Kael froze. The voice was not threatening, though it carried the weight of centuries. It was both sorrowful and commanding. I'm Kael Varin," he said cautiously. "I mean no harm." A form began to materialize upon the throne, bathed in an ethereal violet light. Chains wrapped around her wrists, ankles, and torso, tethering her to the obsidian seat, yet they did not suppress her presence. Queen Solara's eyes pierced through him, intense and haunting. "You are alive," she whispered. "No one has been alive to see me for hundreds of years." Kael's heart raced. "And you've been chained here this whole time?" She gave a bitter laugh, soft and haunting. "Cursed, abandoned, forgotten. Betrayed by those I trusted most. And now, I am merely a shadow, waiting. The touch that broke time." Kael circled the throne warily. The chains glimmered with dark energy, reacting to his presence. Magic, older than any civilization he had ever encountered, coursed through the room. "Why have you not left?" he asked. "I cannot," Solara said. Her chains rattled. "The throne holds me. The curse will not release me, not until the blood of a true heart touches mine." Kael raised an eyebrow. "A true heart?" "Yes," she said simply. "A heart untainted by greed, fear, or deceit. Only the pure of will can shatter this spell." Kael smirked. "Well, I'm no saint, but I can try." Solara tilted her head, curious. "You dare to touch me?" He took a cautious step forward. His hand hovered over hers, trembling slightly despite his usual bravado. "If this is what it takes to free you, then yes." The moment their fingers brushed, a surge of energy exploded through the throne room. The chains shivered violently, their dark runes cracking like glass. Kael was thrown back by a shockwave, but his hand remained connected to hers. Solara gasped, her violet eyes wide with shock and hope. "Impossible," she whispered. The air shimmered, and a figure emerged, the spirit of the one who had cursed her centuries ago, a shadowy wraith cloaked in darkness. "No mortal or full-born heart can undo what I have wrought." Kael gritted his teeth. Guess we'll test that theory. The spirit lunged, but the energy from Solara's touch flared like a sunburst, pushing it back. Chains shattered, clattering to the floor. The throne groaned, as though alive, and the entire chamber quaked. Solara struggled to rise, but Kale held her steady. "It's okay," he said. "We've got this." Her gaze softened as she looked into his eyes. For the first time in centuries, she allowed herself to hope. "You are different," she whispered. "You carry no malice. Only courage and heart." Kale smiled, though the tremor of adrenaline ran through him. "I do what I can. Now stand, let's finish this." The wraith screamed, its form twisting violently. But the connection between Kale and Solara grew stronger. Their combined energy, his mortal courage, her centuries of magic, pushed the spirit back. Solara rose to her feet, chains now completely broken. She stretched, marveling at her freedom after centuries of immobility. Her gown, once tattered and dull, shimmered with restored elegance, infused with her reclaimed power. The wraith shrieked one final time, then dissipated into nothingness. The throne shuddered, then fell silent. Kale and Solara collapsed onto the floor, breathless. You did it," she said, awe in her voice. "You shattered the spell." "I didn't do it alone," Kale said, shaking his head. "We did it together." Solara studied him, really looked at him for the first time. "You are remarkable. The first to touch my hand without fear or desire for gain." "I'm just a guy who likes trouble," Kale replied with a grin, trying to ease the tension, but he couldn't hide the pounding of his heart. Solara laughed softly, a sound like wind through crystal towers. "A man of courage, a mortal who broke an immortal curse. I owe you more than words can express." Kale reached out again, taking both of her hands this time. "You don't owe me anything. I wanted to help." Her eyes glistened. "I have been alone for centuries, waiting for someone like you." The reclaiming of Callara. With the curse broken, the floating city of Callara responded as though alive. Towers shifted, floating platforms realigned, and light returned to the shattered streets. Solara raised her hands, drawing energy from the throne that had once imprisoned her. The floating city hummed with renewed life, responding to her magic. The ruined gardens sprouted luminescent flora, and the dark clouds dissipated. Kale watched in awe. "You can control all of this?" She nodded. "This city, its energy, its very essence, it responds to me. But I could not reach it while chained. Now I can restore it." The two of them moved through the city, guiding energy and magic as Solara reclaimed her kingdom. Kale assisted where he could, often holding her steady or activating old mechanisms that only a human touch could navigate. As they reached the throne room once more, Solara turned to him. "You stood by me when no one else could," she said. "You helped me reclaim my city, and my life." Kale shrugged, smiling. "I guess I just have a thing for cursed queens." Solara laughed, the sound echoing like bells. Perhaps you are exactly the companion I have waited centuries to find." He took her hand in his again. "Then maybe we should start with dinner." "Dinner?" she asked, amusement dancing in her eyes. "I hear floating cities have good cafes." She smiled, letting him guide her through the restored halls, her hand still in his. The centuries of loneliness melted away in the warmth of mortal courage and human touch. Ending a new beginning. Weeks passed, and Callara flourished under Solara's guidance. The city, once silent and lifeless, now teemed with citizens who returned, inspired by the restoration of their queen. Kale remained at her side, learning her customs, exploring the floating spires, and slowly becoming a part of her world. One evening, they stood atop the highest tower, overlooking the city bathed in twilight. "Kale," Solara said softly, "I have ruled this city for centuries, Yet I have never known what it feels like to be free. Not just from the chains, but from the weight of solitude. He took her hands. Then don't. You're not alone anymore. You have me. Her eyes shimmered with tears and starlight. And I have you. Truly, completely. As the moons of Callara rose into the sky, casting silver and violet light over the city, Solara leaned forward. Their foreheads touched, a silent promise passing between them. Not a spell, not a curse, just two souls, finally united. The cursed throne sat behind them, empty yet radiant, no longer a prison but a symbol of endurance, courage, and love. Centuries of suffering had ended not with vengeance, not with power, but with a single touch and the courage to act. And for the first time in her long life, Queen Solara smiled, truly smiled, as the mortal who dared touch her hand walked beside her, ready to face the future together.